Hey guys, welcome back to the America's Convergence. This is the second best of three lined up for today. And the last one lined up for today. We have Pacific Esports and Team Compromiso. Of course, if you were there for the last time around, Compromiso with the squad that they are playing with, right? That's the key statement. The squad that they are playing with are the actual champions of America's Convergence Series number 1, even if the organization themselves are not the champions, right? So Hermit, Pamplona, I believe Faker as well. It should be KXY on the carry, or rather on the mid lane position. Some of the names may have been changed, but they were the ones who won out. So they are one of the stronger teams in the tournament. Of course, when you compare them to, say, perhaps Tortu and Ninjas, who have like vitally TI contenders, but previous TI contenders, of course, things turn out to be a bit different, and that's the key statement here. The heat has been turned up, right? So all of the teams that did very well, Pacific included, they made it into the playoffs in the last season. They didn't make it pretty far after the playoffs because they lost to Team Compromiso in the lower bracket quarterfinals last time around, but still, they had some decent performances, right? They beat out Fantasy Gaming, who are playing in this tournament. They gave Compromiso a run for their money. Even in the group stage, they lost to them 2-1. In the lower brackets, though, it was a 2-0. I mean, Compromiso won pretty quick, but again, different lineup. So let's see what Pacific will be able to do this time around. Right, a lot of the players from Compromiso, like for example, Genic is now on OG Latin America, and ooh, I like this. I actually really like this. I mean, a Pudge being brought out by Pacific. OG were the ones to bring out the Pudge in the very first game of the tournament.
10 seconds remaining.
As second pick. So Pacific will be bringing out the Pudge as their third pick. Let's see what the Pudge is going to be able to do, because it's a flex pick, right? It's a flex pick in the sense that it's a confidence pick. I wonder if they can keep up the confidence, though, against a team like Compromiso. I mean, Siren on the mid lane, phenomenal player. But then, so is Faker on the mid lane. Both of these mid laners pretty evenly matched. It really does depends on who comes out ahead in the split second decision making. And then you also have the carry, just all around really strong players on the carry position, on the support position. I mean, Pamplona and Hermit were phenomenal supports in the last tournament. On heroes like the Dark Willow that we see right now, on heroes like Dusk that we may see, but Compromiso go for the Abaddon. They have the Beastmaster as well as the Willow. Meanwhile, on the other side, apart from the Pudge that we talked about earlier, you have the Enchantress and the Earth Shaker.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Let's see what will come about for this game. I mean, the Abba is a good pick against, I would say, at least the Earth Shaker, because you have that Aphotic Shield coming in, so you won't get stun locked, right? You won't get chain locked down. But apart from that, I mean, the Pudge, if this is going to be a core Pudge, once you have that Scepter, so the heals coming out from the Abaddon are not going to be all that significant. Compromiso, they will be playing a core Abaddon because you have a Snapfire and a Willow coming in, and then you have a Beastmaster. I wonder if we'll see a mid lane Beastmaster. We have seen Faker play the mid lane Beast, but I wonder if he'll run that
10
this time
seconds
around
remaining.
against what I'm assuming is going to be an Earthshaker on the mid lane. But
5
Pacific
seconds
Esports,
remaining.
the big question is, how are they going to disable the Mortimers from coming about from the other side? Or even what carry they're going to be going for. You'll have the Enchantress as the position 5, so maybe you can go for something like a Templar Assassin, or maybe even the Terrorblade. That wouldn't be all that bad. You have the repositioning of the hook coming in to try and get you out of the sticky situation. But in fact, it's going to be neither of those two heroes. It is going to be a Medusa that comes out. And Pacific Esports,
10 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
they ban out the anti-mage for good measure, even though they know that there's an Abbot and a Beastmaster on the other side. But you have the flex potential, particularly for these South American teams. The Beastmaster can be played on the mid lane, something
10
that
seconds
has
remaining.
carried over from the European scene.
5 seconds remaining.
Hmm.
Dire team ban.
Compromiso ban out the Storm Spirit. As they don't expect this Earthshaker to be on the mid lane. Ideally, you have the
10
mid lane
seconds
Earthshaker,
remaining.
right? Against the Beastmaster, does do pretty well. At the same time,
5
it is, I
seconds
believe it's one of
remaining.
those skill-based matchups where it just depends on how you really play. Because the Beastmaster can come in with the boards and the movement speed slow could prove to be overwhelming for an Earthshaker. But I think Compromiso, they're banning out the Storm. They're banning out insta-jump heroes, right? Because you don't want to be, you don't want your Snapfire to be disabled while the Mortimers are going out.
Team
They will
ban.
ban the Kunkka as well. For Pacific, ideally, if you add in another frontliner, you're going to be in a great position because you have the Medusa, right? All you really have to do is poke and prod. And if you want to ban out certain counters, maybe you even go for the ban on the
10
Phantom
seconds
Lancer, despite
remaining.
though you have an Earthshaker, so you have an answer to the PL even if it
5
comes out.
seconds remaining.
Hmm. Let's see. The last ban from Pacific. Ideally, I mean, even though you have the Earthshaker, you may want to ban out the Phantom Lancer. Because the Earthshaker, if he gets shut down, you have the long range disables coming, long range DPS coming in, right? From the Snapfire. So you may not have that reliable Echo Slam. But Pacific, they are actually going to come out with the Puck. I can't believe the Puck was left out here, open in the pool, and I can't believe the Puck was actually the 9th pick for the game here. Normally, when you have the Puck open, it's an instant pick in the first pick phase.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Compromiso, though. It's their turn to pick. And the question's all over because the PL, not that great against the Puck and the Earthshaker. But Compromiso, they will settle for the carry Abaddon. It is going to be an Invoker on the mid lane, and it is going to be a Beastmaster that heads towards the top side. Pacific Esports, I don't actually know whose lineup I favor. I do think the late game, I mean, the late game is for sure 100% better for Pacific. A Medusa as a late game carry, coupled up with Siren, a phenomenal Puck player, which means that the late game is going to be a treat for Pacific. Meanwhile, Compromiso look towards securing the mid game, right? Because they have that Abaddon on their carry as the carry. ASG is the carry. Hermit is the offlaner. So, I mean, really strong, solid mid game timings. Even as the invoker, you have the setup for the Sunstrike, right? With the roar coming in, but he's not even going for this the Sunstrike because I mean you have a Medusa on the other side, so you want that extra, you want that improved EMP. So he's going to go for the Mind of Tornadus. It improves the tornado, but the tornado is the setup for the eventual EMP. But if you're able to land the EMP on this Medusa, and maybe ASG even goes for something like a Diffusal Blade, it is a bit of a niche pick because ideally you want the Radiance on the Abaddon. He's not a flash farmer, so really requires the Radiance to come online, and then you have the burn coming in for that additional miss chance on the Medusa, as well as the burn. The DPS burn will be taking a bit away from the mana shield, right? It's all about chipping away at the mana shield until you're able to overwhelm the Gorgon. But let's see if Compromiso will be able to do that as we head into the first game between Compromiso and Team Pacific.
Prepare for battle.
Observer ward to be planted down towards the mid lane. Towards the other side, it's an aggressive observer ward. I wonder if this will just be dewarded. Both teams were inside the guise of the smoke, so you didn't exactly see the observer ward being planted down, but there are certain visual cues that you receive to know that there is an observer. I wonder if Bastion will be able to find the hook. We'll need to see a visible target. I mean, that's the plan with this aggressive observer ward, right? One is the fact that this offers you potency in the early laning phase for the 7 minutes that it's on, and the other is that you have the potential for that sneaky hook to come out from Bastion. Grab yourselves up that early first blood. Ooh, Abaddon's smoke will be broken. Sebastian does see him on that high ground, but they also see the pods, so it's a hook that is going to be difficult to land. Still trying for it though. They haven't exactly found any target. They do see ASD as Bastion is very merrily walking on forward with his Podge. And it's a toy butcher set. It's my favorite set of the game. But a bit of posturing, I believe. Nothing too significant is going to come out of this unless. Ooh, Faker just got hooked in, and Fadlong has the Fisher block available. Faker is gonna end up losing his life. They waited, they took their sweet time with the hook, but then eventually they were able to find it. As now the response comes in. Bastion in trouble, so he will end up getting traded out there. But the first blood has already gone the way of the Radiant side. Pacific are going to be more than happy with this, as it does mean that the Invoker won't be in position to actually get the creep block, and it will be the momentum favoring Siren on the mid lane. Puck versus Invoker, very standard matchup, but the main problem here for Faker is the fact that because he's gone for the Tornado upgrade, landing that EMP combination on Siren is so incredibly difficult. You can dodge out the Tornado, you can even dodge out the EMP with just one ability, right? The phase shift. Just cancel it out completely. So let's see a kind of a pseudo skill-based matchup that heavily favors the Puck. Particularly once you hit that level 6 and you have that Dream Coil online, that is when you are truly going to make moves, truly going to make waves if you are Pacific. But the moves are going to be towards the top lane, as that is the lane where the Pudge is going to plant himself as the position 4. You have the Earthshaker as well, so in a situation where BBQ ends up getting hooked in, it's going to be difficult for him to be able to escape, even if he throws down the Snapfire cookie. Bastion currently waiting for it. He will throw it, don't you guys worry. But wants to be getting back. priming his hook. It's a lot of creeps on the mid lane, or rather on the top lane. Abaddon will have quite a few creeps, but then there's the hook coming in. The blood grenade gets thrown out as well, and BBQ doesn't have his fire snap cookie. He's just gonna end up eating the totem, and Fablong will be able to acquire that kill. And this is the problem for Compromiso. Every time they are faced up with a hook, escaping that scenario is so tricky, so difficult. Even if ASD throws down the Aphotic Shield. Another hook, another landing on BBQ. The Fisher is gonna go out, and BBQ right now is just level 1. Doesn't have his cookie to play with, but now will hit his level 2 mark. So ideally, you just kill the cookie. You don't take the Shredder, even though it is pretty good against the Pudge. But he has gone for the Shredder, which means he won't have the cookie to play with. And as soon as he reveals that, that's going to give the information to Pacific that they can make more of those hooks and actually find the kills. Bastion right now doesn't have any mana. I believe he will have some once his courier comes to him. Lotus is also going to be spawning as towards the bot lane. You have an Enchantress against the Willow and the Beastmaster, and this Enchantress is one of the best heroes to actually zone out the other side with. Very difficult to contest the Enchantress, particularly as it's always going to be an Enchantress +1 whenever you grab yourself up a creep. You can even grab yourself a mana burn creep, send him down from the outpost to burn away the or rather, you don't have the Medusa is on your own side, so you can't send the creep anywhere. But you can grab the creep and burn away the Beastmaster's mana. Disable his ability to keep resummoning those pesky boars, and maybe even disable his ability to throw down those wild axes, one of the abilities that he loves to spam. And Jim is going to do exactly just that. Picks up the Satyr Mind Stealer and is going to be looking towards some mana burn.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Another Fisher being thrown out as Bastion comes from the back line. Wants to be throwing at the hook, but he only has one shot at this. Throws it out and grabs BBQ, who doesn't have the cookie. An enchant totem will be enough, and ASD now the one in trouble. The rot is making him too slow to actually escape, and it's going to be 2 kills being found by Pacific over on the top lane, and they are doing very well for themselves. All in all, I mean, you really had to go for the cookie. It's the only way to create some space for yourself. At least they'll have nice coordination with the teleports, though. Bastion is looking for the hook, but he also sees BBQ coming in. Maybe he throws out the hook on BBQ, but that was the plan. It just wasn't executed. I think Bastion was a bit too preemptive with that hook. Should have waited for the Fisher's stun. Tried to outplay BBQ, but he ended up getting outplayed himself. And now they want to go in. Unfortunately, they don't actually have the damage to overpower the meat shield. It just blocks away too much of it. And towards the bot lane, Argeus is doing so well for himself. You take a look at the lost hits, they favor the 3 cores of Pacific. You take a look at the net worth, it also favors the 3 cores of Pacific, and things are going very well for them. They will need to rotate with Faker though on the Invoker. But Invoker is one of those heroes that doesn't have as good of a rotation ability compared to heroes like the Puck or the Spirits. They're waiting. But the Willow was waiting for them as well. The Puck will be able to disengage, and there's the phase shift out. Or rather, the Waning Rift which was used. Meanwhile, Bastion goes for the hook, and the Dream Coil being planted on the 2 will mean that this Invoker is in trouble. However, it's Bastion that's going to end up getting traded out. And now Siren doesn't have the mana to actually get the kills in. He will just have to disengage.
Radiant's
Jim?
middle tower is under attack.
A deer lost in the woods, apparently. He is going to end up falling. BBQ to actually grab the kill. Maybe it should have gone the way of Faker. Maybe you give your mid laner the kill. It's a wild idea. But still, maybe the Snapfire decided that, maybe the team decided that the recovery for the position 5 is more important considering the kind of lane that they have been having even towards the bot side. Bastion finds the Beastmaster and he didn't even have to hook him. They're going to make their way towards the Shrine of Wisdom. The Beastmaster boar will recognize it though. However, the boar is just going to get hooked out and it's going to be a Willow versus a Pudge. But the Pudge is going to get rooted down. However, the Shrine of Wisdom, it is on that red line. Pamplona has the meat shield and now the teleport is going to be coming in, but so is Argius. It will mean that the Shrine of Wisdom can potentially go the way of Pacific. However, with the Beastmaster coming in, it will mean that Pamplona grabs up the Shrine of Wisdom. Overall, it's a 1-for-1 as far as the shrines go. But it's a lot of space being generated by Pacific because they didn't actually have to invest all that much. All they really did was roll on over with the Pudge and they forced out 4 heroes, or rather 3 heroes that had to make their way there. Meanwhile, they keep getting these kills over on the top lane, irrespective of whether or not Bastion is present. It's just the Earthshaker overpowering the Abaddon.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Hunting bounties.
Top lane tier 1 tower is being
Dire's
pressured.
top tower is under attack.
The Pudge is moving in here as well. They see BBQ. I believe Fatlang had the vision on him.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And I think it's Adrian on the Earthshaker. Jim needs to be careful because this isn't exactly the position that he wants to be in. He can quickly get surrounded because there are 4 heroes on and a tornado is going to find its mark and Jim is going to be another casualty of this play. However, it's all of that space, right? It's just space being created by Pacific. Able to take down the mid lane tower.
Is under attack.
You have 4 heroes present from Compromiso towards the top side. As ASD is going to be very slow on his farm. He is 3,500 compared to the Medusa's 4,100. So 600 behind the Medusa. All because of the kills the Pacific have been able to acquire. It's not all doom and gloom. But it does mean that Compromiso are going to find it difficult to achieve the mid-game timing that they are looking for. And Hermit is going to be able to grab, or rather dodge out the hook. But Siren is going to come in though. Dream Coil planted down, the Waning Rift and the Illusory Orb to actually finish the Beastmaster off with. And Bastion is looking for another one of those hooks. It's unfortunately going to be on cooldown. Siren will be able to dodge out the EMP. No, he won't. But the hook will land on Faker. They don't have the follow-up, of course, so it will mean that Siren has to get away from this position. He's very low, doesn't have much mana to play with. Bastion will also be able to disengage. Or will he? The Fire Snap Cookie stuns him down. The Pudge will fall. It's overall a 1-for-1, a support for a support, so nothing too surprising, nothing too troubling. The bigger issue is the fact that while all of that was happening, Adrian on the top lane was able to take down the tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Towards the bot lane. The tier 1 tower is going to be threatened. The teleports are going to be coming in. As they want to be going in for the defense, they grabbed the Snapfire. Unfortunately, the fear coming in from Pamplona. It hit its mark on towards 3. The Stone Gaze comes out though, and Compromiso are in trouble. The Stone Gaze has worn out. Siren is going to come in. ASD's borrowed time has run out of it. And the Fire Snap Cookie, it will create some space, but it's not going to be enough space. Siren will potentially be able to take him down, but he has to fall back to protect Arceus because he's ran out of mana. The Tornado EMP is going to come in and the Gorgon will fall. Pacific lose huge in this team fight. They lost 3 of their heroes despite giving it everything they had. All of the ultimates came in and the Earthshaker was unfortunately unable to use his Echo Slam there. maybe he should have committed towards the Blink Dagger rather than creating the Kaya. Because it's so difficult to walk in, considering the amount of control coming in, particularly from Faker on the Invoker.
Dire are scanning.
Don't run off.
Tornado EMP on Siren, that is an EMP that is never going to disrupt the puck. But Bastion can do a bit of disruption on his own with these hooks that he's constantly able to land. Siren, unfortunately, doesn't have the distance with that illusory orb, so he will end up getting traded out. Pamplona will find the dominating streak. And it's around 700 gold that goes the way of the Willow.
Earth's bounty.
Now Adrian is incredibly close to his Blink Dagger. We'll get it by this wave. Just needs to throw down the Fisher. And the Enchant Totem. We'll have another pause coming about. As I believe Siren needs to reconnect to the game. ASD now has, I believe, the... Where is his courier? It's not in the... Oh, it's there. It's just bringing a clarity. It's not even bringing the talisman. So this is going to be a pretty late radiance, all things considered. I mean, it's going to be a 16 to 17 minute radiance. I mean, you take a look at the Abaddon's net worth, and TB Rosen has about 5,000 net worth. He is at the bottom of the net worth chart as far as the cores are concerned, and this is pretty concerning, if I'm being honest. This is, again, Compromiso playing against the clock. The champions of the America's Convergence Series 1. It's a mid-game oriented lineup which doesn't seem to be doing too well in the early game. Not as well as they would have liked. The bottom fight, very well executed by them. They were able to find the Medusa, find all sorts of these kills, but they need to continue that momentum. Right now, the towers, they are feeling pretty secure for Pacific. On the top side, the tower hasn't actually taken a single point of damage. On the mid lane, the tower is about 235 HP less. But that's plenty. That's 90% of the HP of it, or 80 to 90% of the HP still up on that tower. Very healthy. Will take a bit of time to actually take down a tower because you don't actually hit towers all that well. Apart from the Shredder armor reduction coming in. Siren now has reconnected into the game, and the go call has been sounded out.
Radiant are scanning.
Towards the bot lane, it is going to be Adrian cut out, and he is going to be brought down. A tornado being thrown down by Faker, and the orb coming out from the Satyr Tormentor is going to be enough. Adrian was able to grab the Blink Dagger though, so it's not a huge loss considering the fact that he was able to buy out. But it's Compromiso who are making space right now, and when they head into the triangle, they will actually find themselves the Medusa, but they don't actually go towards the triangle. It's going to be towards Bastion. The root is going to come out from the Medusa. Argus will just dodge out the EMP, but Compromiso are going to be able to take down the Pudge and make it out of there without any kind of threat to their lives. They are playing this very well and calculated. Ideally, though, they should have gone towards that triangle, but of course, it is risky walking up to that high ground, right? You don't know what's going to be waiting for you on the other side. But it's Argus now in trouble because Faker, he wants to be throwing down that EMP. It burns around 475 mana on the Medusa, more than half of the Medusa's mana, but they were waiting for him. An easy hook being found on a Faker, however, he does throw out the Tornado and EMP, but it's a Fissure from Adrian. Right from when the Earthshaker died last time around, he's going to be throwing that Fissure. That is irony at its finest. Two heroes. And it looks to be two more. Compromiso finding themselves compromised in their own triangle. Very clean executions coming out by Pacific. Every time Pacific make a move, it is so fast. It happens in the blink of an eye. And Compromiso, again, every time they die, they slow down the pace of their farm. The Abba still does not have a single component of his Radiance. Meanwhile, the Medusa on the other side has the Manta style already built up. You take a look at the difference in net worth, it is about 2,000 gold favoring the Medusa. You take a look at the difference between the top net worth of a core versus the bottom net worth core, and it's about 3,000 of a difference. Things could get dangerous for Compromiso if they are not careful.
Dire are scanning.
It looks like we might have a clash on our hands. A clash of neutral creeps. So far as I don't think Compromiso wanted to walk into that position. Near the tier 1 tower, the teleports can come in very quickly and you might find yourself hooked. Speaking of hooks, Bastion tried his best to throw it out. But Siren is coming in. He has the Witchblade at the ready as well. He's going to throw out the Dream Coil. You do have the borrowed time. Herman is coming in with a roar. Doesn't want to use it on the puck. They want to be using it on towards Bastion. He isn't going to walk into the Sunstrike, but with enough resources being pulled in from Compromiso, Hermit will be able to find the kill on Bastion, and Siren is going to be forced to disengage. Towards the top side, Adrian got out, will throw out the Echo Slam. The Willow is still looking plenty healthy, and Adrian will just be able to blink out.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Ooh, Faker, he's coming in with the Tornado, has the EMP as well, and the Mortimers will be enough to actually clean up the Enchantress. But Siren is looking to disrupt over on the backline. Jim will still end up falling to Pamplona. I believe it was the Shadowrun strike that came in. But so far, so good for, I think, Pacific. The lead is snowballing. I mean, you take a look at the net worth. It is 4,000 in favor of Pacific. They have the map control as well. They want to be going in on towards Fat Lung. Or rather, on towards the Willow. However, this is too deep inside Compromiso territory. Bastion is going to learn this lesson the hard way. He will end up falling. He's just trying to buy as much space as he can. But in the end, it will be a futile escape.
Dire's top tower.
The Puck will dodge out the fear. And we'll just walk on back. Grab himself the Regen Rune and has a Blink Dagger. So you have two Blinks right now up for Pacific. no one can actually make a Blink Dagger now, apart from the Pudge, but Bastion is actually going for the Blade Mail. Meanwhile, the Abba now has the Radiance, so should look towards amplifying his farm. Whether or not this Radiance is too late it's going to be a question that only time will tell. As the Medusa, there is no way to actually take enough map control to shut down the Medusa's farm. It just doesn't seem like that will happen. So then it's going to be a head-to-head versus a farmed up Gorgon 20 minutes from now. Right now, though, it is a fight towards the top side. They see Siren. They will throw out... Oh, no. Siren used the phase shift. That will mean that Origins has to come in with the ultimate, but it won't be enough. Meanwhile, a roar found on Jim. But Compromiso have found the big prize. They have found the puck. Even if they had to expend a lot of resources, but they were able to get out with forcing the Stone Gaze. Adrian spots at the Snapfire, will make his move, but needs to be careful about this. Bastion throws out the hook, but will be unable to land it. And that is going to give space away to Pamplona. Goes in with the Bedlam, and the Mortimer is going to come in from the back line. Will mean the death of this Pudge.
Dire are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Siren, does he want to be going in again? He will see Hermit and BBQ has the Dream Coil to play with, but will not throw it out. I think the problem is that all of these heroes are so tanky for the puck to actually take down alone. But he is doing a great job at actually just causing as much mayhem and chaos as he can. Just forcing everyone from Compromiso back.
Radiant are scanning.
Here I am.
Nice little bomb.
Jim stuck in between of 5 heroes. Once again, they keep on bullying the deer in the woods, right? They really don't. Every time the Enchantress dies, I feel a bit sad inside. Not this Enchantress, just any Enchantress, right? It just seems so helpless. Still though, the Tormentor is going to go the way of Compromiso. They will be able to acquire some amount of net worth going their way. It is significant, right? It's about 1400 net worth, and not to mention an entire shard upgrade. So BBQ will have that upgraded Snapfire cookie. It heals you as well as launches a Mortimer.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So a nice bit of sustain going their way. It will... The big question is if it will be enough, because eventually you'll have a Scotty coming out from Arceus, right? And the big problem is, as I mentioned before, there's no way to stop the farm. The Medusa
Dire's bottom tower is
just
under
will
attack.
continue on farming, and the state of the game hasn't actually changed all that much. This top lane tower, I think I spoke about it 10 minutes ago, had 100% HP, and it's only taken about 62 points of damage since then. The mid lane tower has taken about 500 damage since we last spoke about it. So you have the entirety of the triangle, entirety of the side camps over on the top lane, and not to mention majority of your jungle still in your control, and Arceus can just farm away to his heart's content. What is going to be the game plan from Compromiso? They have the pipe, they have the Blink Dagger, Faker has the vessel, a mech readied up on BBQ. So you have so much to actually defend with. The big question is, what are you waiting for? You're not going to get any stronger, right? The 20 to 35 minute mark is when Compromiso's lineup is going to be at its strongest. So this window that they have
Radiant are
is
scanning.
crucial. They can't lose fights, they have to win them. They have to be able to take down the Puck as well as the Medusa. Those are two very important heroes that you need to be shutting down in this timing. But so far, it's passiveness that is the theme for Compromiso's mid-game, at least for right now. Things may change, and they may change drastically whenever they decide to make a move. Right now, though, it has been Pacific to make the majority of these moves, and they will make another one inside of that triangle, but we will have a pause before that happens. Interesting. Adding in a bit of suspense, guys. The go call will be sounded out, and Pacific will head on over inside of the triangle. They will see... Did they see BBQ? I don't think they did. But they see Hermit, and they will move on towards the Beastmaster. They will be able to take him down, but the response is coming in from Compromiso. Hermit still alive just for now, and now Bastion is in trouble. Pacific completely disengaged from that team fight. That will mean the death of their Pudge, but it's going to be a 1-for-1. And now it's on that Abba. They're trying to force out his borrow time, but it's just going to be a mana burn EMP coming in from the side. Argius losing out on the majority of his mana. The EMP, it does so much right now. I believe it's at its strongest, so 775.
Is under attack.
Or 700 mana burn on the Medusa, right? Still 50% of his mana pool. Burnt in an instant. In an instant after the EMP delay. So I wonder why they didn't actually just throw everything they had at Hermit in the chance that they could. They had a full 5 to 7 seconds of just being able to get their way with the Beastmaster, but they just decided to disengage. And now Compromiso, they will head on over inside of the Roshan pit. This could be risky. You have the Dream Coil, you also have the Stone Gaze, and Bastion is going to be coming in. Shortly, he is stuck inside of the woods here,
Dire's top
waiting
tower
for his
is under
Tumbler's toy.
attack.
Now he has the potential to throw a hook down. That was funny, seeing the Pudge stuck in the trees like that. I don't think I've ever seen someone get stuck in this narrow gap over here. Willow found out inside of the Glimmer Cape. Pamplona stuck right now is going to be a hook back, and it's going to be brought down. Has the EUs to play with at least momentarily. Now the Tornado and EMP goes out. Or rather, no, there is no Tornado or EMP. The Invoker really is taking a sweet time at actually coming into the fight. Dream Coil is going to wear off, but a perfect Fissure Plug actually holding ASD in. He will be forced to activate his borrowed time, dodge out that hook. Very nicely done by him. Instead, that will mean that he can keep himself alive, and Pacific will be forced back with only having acquired 1 kill. I'm not too sure why I got confused, why I thought there was an EMP play there, but I think it was because I heard a Tornado in my headphones. I think the Invoker used it towards bot lane. But still, it is a Roshan play at the end of it. The scan is going to come out from Compromiso. They know this is happening. The big question is, what are they going to do about this? Roshan falls reasonably quickly from the side of Pacific. The Medusa doesn't have the damage output. Right, 200 damage per hit and has the Mjolnir, so a very fast attack speed on him. And it's going to be an uncontested Aegis. They threw out the Sunstrike as if the scan wasn't enough, but with the Roshan falling, with the Aegis being claimed, it is on their screens. They know it, Pacific knows it, and right now, Pacific have the advantage.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Here I am.
Towards the top side, Enchantress got out. The hook was meant to save the Enchantress, but they won't be able to do so. BBQ will find Jim with the Mortimers. Pamplona will be the trade though. As right now, Hermit is the next target. A Dismember found on the Beastmaster. Can they actually bring him down? The pipe comes out, which means the Pox Siren has to disengage. So far, we have not seen too many Echo Slams come out. Adrian has taken his sweet time with this. Tibirusen will have the Blink Dagger up soon, and maybe he goes for the Orchid
Dire's
after
bottom
that.
tower is under attack.
Right now, Siren is on the hunt. Will not see BBQ though. But maybe he does. He throws out the Dream Coil because he saw him with the Observer Ward and will make his way to get this kill. He has the Parasma, and with Adrian coming in, it's going to be a very easy kill. An unstoppable streak for this Earthshaker. He has a BKB to play with as well, so he can be going in for the Echoes. Maybe he's keeping it as a contingency, right? Maybe he wants to really be using it when Compromiso fully commit, or maybe he wants to take down the Invoker with the Echo Slam, right? The Invoker is the one hero that keeps Compromiso's lineup from collapsing. Without the control coming in from the Invoker, it is going to nearly be impossible for Compromiso to mount up a solid response. He does have the BKB, so has the capacity to survive, but the problem with BKBs in these kinds of circumstances, when you have huge ultimates on the other side, like the Echo Slam, is that you need to use your BKB before you get hit. Otherwise, you can find yourself stun locked, right? The Earthshaker goes in with the Echo. Maybe you get hooked in. The Dismember goes through your BKB. The Dream Coil, the Waning, a lot of magical burst damage coming in early on, which means that Faker will need to be on his toes. But at the same time, so will the Abaddon, right? Because Tibirusen has the Aphotic Shield and Hard Dispel coming in. That is the one ability that can actually keep the Invoker free to use his BKB. Prevent Pacific from being able to chain lock your Invoker down. A lot of questions.
如何呢？又能怎？如何呢？又能怎？
Another one of those tornadoes being used.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, Medusa just farming away. Has gotten about 2 minutes of free farm. And now has a BKB to play with. So the EMP isn't going to be as effective because Arceus can just activate the BKB. But it's also a lot of insurance against the Mortimers coming out. A lot of the magical damage coming out from the other side. Even the Bedlam is magical damage.
Dire are scanning.
A smoke to come out from the side of Pacific.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Bastion doesn't have a Blink Dagger, but he does have the Blade Mail that he has been eagerly farming for. Or he hasn't been farming, to be fair. He has 12 assists and 3 kills. He has been eagerly looking for the hooks and has gotten most of them.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Bottom tower.
But now the bot lane tower has fallen. And the big question is, the Pacific, will they make their mark on this tier 3? They certainly do seem like they want to be doing so. The EMP Tornado isn't actually going to land on anyone. And that's going to be down for about 20 seconds. Ooh, a very preemptive Mantis style being used. The disarm is going to be significant. But now it's on the tier 3s. They are being besieged. The Mortimers are going to be coming out, and Arceus, all he has to do is fall back, wait for the Mortimers to run out, and maybe reconnect with the tier 3, maybe go for another siege. Or maybe they want to be going in on BBQ. Ooh, the hook from Bastion, narrowly missing. Another EMP, but it's a forced off, keeping Arceus safe. It's a lot of control from the side of Compromiso. That is for sure. Meanwhile, all of that is happening. You have Tibirusen, who is farming up on the Abba. Around 2,700 gold. It will be key to what he actually makes on this Abaddon. Maybe he goes for the Orchid. Yeah, that is going to be the one item he goes for. But it's towards the mid lane. And the fight is brewing. Bastion, he doesn't need the hook because Adrian goes in with the Echo. He'll just use the hook to drag Adrian back. Jim is going to be the target of this, and now the Abba goes in. However, Arceus is there. You will use the Stone Gate to play with. And now Compromiso, they have to disengage, with a 2-man Dream Coil being found by Sidon on the back line will mean that Compromiso will be collapsing. Faker makes it out, but he is one of the only heroes that does so. And their high ground is now under threat. They may even see Faker forced to activate his BKB preemptively just to be able to disengage. Will throw out the EMP, but again, Arceus will
Dire's
not
middle tower is under attack.
be too bothered about this.
Are fortified.
Towards the sides though, Tiburusin actually drags the creeps away. However, the glyph is not going to reactivate in time. They will at least be losing their tier 3 tower if nothing else.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Are they looking for the chase here? ASZ was visible under the observer ward, but he has the TP out, so how did they possibly... Oh no, the Fissure Plug, that's how they find him! And this Abba, he doesn't have the borrowed time, he has nowhere to go, he will fall. It is Adrian on a godlike streak. And Pacific, they are looking a bit too strong. Bastion, he wants to be throwing down the hook, wants to be grabbing anyone he can. Will throw it out, but the creep actually blocked the hook, otherwise it would have landed. Bastion's mana has been burned. Arceus is already on the high ground. He will make his way towards the mid lane barracks, and without your Abba, without your carry, there's no way to defend this. In fact, without your Invoker, it will get even harder, as Faker needs to be careful. The hook this time will actually land, and Siren is going to come in with the orb, and with the echo coming in from Adrian. It will mean that Compromiso will lose their 2 cores. We may even have a preemptive GG on our hands as Compromiso are collapsing. This will end up potentially being a team wipe. BBQ will make it back to the fountain, but he's the only one that will have the ability to do so. The rest of his team, they have all fallen.
Dire's
And it's going to be the top lane barracks is to fall as well.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire's top barracks are under attack.
有人呢？有
Dire's
人
top barracks has fallen.
It's now towards tier 4s.
Radiant
But the GG has already been thrown out by Faker. Compromiso will call game number 1 to be a lost cause. Pacific Esports take it. And with a very strong statement being made against the 5 players that did win the previous season of America's Convergence, it is Pacific who are looking renewed. It is Pacific who are looking formidable. And let's see if they continue their domination in game number 2, or if Compromiso will be able to muster up a comeback and take it to a game number 3. We will be back with the answer to those questions right after a short break. So don't go anywhere and stay tuned.